Remember last episode when I said that I stopped the podcast for 2 years because I had nothing to say? Well, I have a lot to say. So let's get this started. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the kingdom. I'm your host, Karen Lovejoy. And it's a beautiful day in the kingdom. Once again, it's a great Thursday. I'm not going to do too long of an intro because I was watching my podcast episode last week and I was like, this intro is way too long. Let's get into what we're welcoming and exiling, okay? All right. So, no, we have to do a little jingle. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. No, before we even do that, in this episode, we're going to be talking about marriage, okay? I have a friend who has saved me in her phone as child bride. And when I met her, she saw the ring on my finger. She said, blink twice if you need help. I said, I'm good, love. Thank you. And so today I want to make a case for the child bride. I do. I want to make a case for getting married young. I want to talk about marriage. I want to talk about green flags and like how to date well and what to look for because I'm watching Love Island, right? I'm watching Love Island and I'm realizing I'm watching Love Island with a bunch of 14, 15, 16-year-olds who don't know anything. And I'm also realizing like the conversation about like desire, attraction, like what to tolerate, like, how can you spot that a man isn't good for you by watching an hour of him on your screen? These are all the things I want to get into. I want to get into green flags when dating and subsequently like things that you should beware of. And then when you are getting married or if you're like in your 20s getting married, like things that you should know, basically everything that I've learned. This is going to be a marriage episode. I'm going to really share what's on my heart, what I've learned, how I think that I've been able to do my marriage well. We look at each other every day and I'm like, this is so much fun. It's not been that difficult, to be honest. And there was a lot of fear mongering. Like there was a lot of fear when it came to marriage. So yeah, let's talk about it all. Okay. I hope you're ready. And now we're going to get into what we're welcoming and what we're exiling. So let's start the jingle again. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. All right, what we're welcoming and exiling. Like I said last week, we're welcoming Love Island USA Season 8. And I said I wasn't going to watch it, and now I'm watching it. So I want to do a little bit of a Love Island hot take segment before we get into the episode. If you don't care about Love Island, skip a few minutes. But I just want to do a few hot takes, okay? I want to touch on every couple and my thoughts on them. First, Bryce and Trinity, 8 down. They're going to survive Casa Amor. I'm predicting early that they're going to be my winners. I can see Carl and Anaya, if she does bring him back from Casa Amor. They're also very, very high up on my list. I love these two couple. Carl better tread lightly, and he better know that he's got the prize, and he has to act accordingly. That's the only thing I'm accepting, because you can't fumble Anaya. You just can't. So he needs to act right so that she keeps him. Casey has to go. Kenzie has to go. Corbin and Parmita have to go. Out my villa. Sincere. Whoever named him Sincere played. They were playing. They knew deep down inside that they had birthed probably the most insincere man on the planet. So they said, how can we right our wrongs? How can we make this right? Let's name him Sincere. Maybe it'll reverse the curse that this baby has on him. Because why does he lie so much? How is your name Sincere and you lie? You lie like you're being paid to lie. He has to go. He has to get out my villa. I really wanted Kata and Caleb to like explore connection. I was really rooting for them in the first two chats. Zach doesn't care about Kata. Zach cares about 100K. I've never seen an ounce of emotion from Zach. And honestly, Love Island is the reason why I want to talk about marriage and relationships this episode, because I'm just like, wow, these are red flags. And I was telling my husband, I was like, babe, like I can tell when a guy loves a girl on Love Island, like when a guy really has feelings for her, because I see the way you act towards me. And so I'm like he is like the blueprint of what it means to love a woman. I'm gonna brag. I'm gonna brag a little bit. I just compare their actions to my husband, and I'm like, my husband would never. So that means you don't really like her. So like if a guy says something, I'm like, would Lucas ever say that? If it's yes, then that's good. If it's no, then that's bad. And they need to get out of my villa. So Zach, the way he acts, like I'm not even gonna touch on the whole him and Bryce situation and this like homoerotic thing that they have going on, because that I can't make sense of it. And that's the only reason why I'm still a little hesitant on Bryce and Trinity. I can tell Bryce and Trinity really like each other. I just don't understand the gay jokes. I don't understand it. And I can't see Lucas doing any of it. So I'm like, what? You know what I mean? I don't even have anything to compare it to. Who else? I think that's all. Yeah, Casey has to go. Casey's like the number one on my chopping block, so Casey has to go. Anyway, that's it for the Love Island hot take segment. We'll see what I'm saying next week after the Casa Amor recoupling. I think Bryce and Trinity are going to stay loyal to each other. I think Anaya's going to bring back Carl, and Casey will bring back Titi, which is great because then I can just vote both of them off. I think Sincere is not going to bring back anyone. Sincere, you know what Sincere is? Sincere is the Love Island guy that will do a madness in Casa Amor because he thinks that's what you need to do at Casa Amor. Then he's going to come back single and say, but babe, I chose you. And then the Casa Amor girl is going to be like, but you were, como se dice? And then Melanie's going to fall for it. Melanie's going to be like, yeah, he chose me still in the end. Love prevails. I can't. Melanie is way too good for him. Melanie is way too good for him. You can't be with a man that does not have any self-control. Does not have any self-control. A man that lies to you. If a man lies to you once, this is a marriage podcast, so I'm gonna mention my husband's name a lot, but like, I just can't see him lying to me. Why? He just wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense. So if a man lies to you multiple times, what are you still doing with it? If you've caught your man in a lie multiple times, oh baby, he gotta go. He gotta go. And Melanie's not hearing it, and I feel bad for her. I don't like Corey though, that whole like fashion guy and like, I'm gonna be the right guy for you. I don't buy it. I don't think that he's serious, and maybe that's me judging a book by its cover, but I'm not feeling it. Like, he's not moving me. I don't see genuine desire. So, yeah, who else? And then Zach and Kata are gonna stay loyal to each other, but like this is a coupling that like I just need to end. I don't want to see Zach on my screen. Like Zach used to be the first one on my chopping block, and Casey has annoyed me so much that like Zach is now maybe third on the list of people who need to go, but he needs to go. Kata deserves so much better. Okay. Kenzie. Oh, ooh, actually, guys, I just saw in my notes I had written, Kenzie, please stop. And I was talking about the black scent that she puts on when she's talking to the Black Islanders. You don't talk like that with your friends. And me, like, thinking about Kenzie, I knew there was an epidemic. I didn't know how bad it was. I was out with friends. Was it last Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Just this past Saturday. I was out with friends and I was wearing my top, my like lime green and brown dotted patterned top with the scarf. I just posted a photo like dump on Instagram with that outfit on. I wore it to this little bar in the Lower East Side. I was getting drinks with some friends and I walk out of the bathroom and there's two white girls right in front of me. I'm walking past them. She's right next to me. As soon as she sees me, she goes, "That outfit ate, girl." I like I think the spirit of Kenzie is no, I can't even blame this on Kenzie. This is like something that has been happening for a long time. It was happening to me when I was 16, 17, working at the Great Wolf Lodge in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and all my white coworkers would approach me and would say, "Hey sis, hey girl, why do you feel the need to change the way that you talk when you see me? Why can't you just say, 'Oh, I love your outfit'? Oh my gosh, I love your outfit. Oh my gosh, you look so pretty." And I would have said, "Thank you." But you know what I said? I said nothing. I looked at her. I looked at her like she called me the N-word, honestly, because that's what it felt like. It sent chills down my spine. "That outfit ate, girl." It sent chills down my spine. It felt like a hate crime, genuinely, genuinely, genuinely. Like it was so jarring. Like it felt like hearing like nails on a chalkboard. It was so bad. And she also like screamed it at me. It wasn't even like, mind you, I'm like not even 6 inches away from her. It's a small, tight hallway. So I'm just walking by. And I get that it's a bar, so maybe she was drunk, but like there's just no excuse. You could have just said, "Oh my," I would have taken a drunk, "Oh my gosh, I love your outfit." You don't need to say "eight" and "girl" because I'm black. I speak English. I speak regular English too. Like, you don't have to blackify the way that you speak because it's a black girl that you're talking to. You look dumb. And if you're a white girl and you're watching this and you do this, you look dumb. Don't approach a black girl and say, "Hey sis, hey girl," if that's not the way that you talk, especially if you don't know them. I'm getting angry all over again because that actually triggered me so bad. I was so angry for like the next 30 minutes. I was so pissed because I couldn't, like, first I'm watching Love Island and I have to see Kenzie do this on my screen, talk to the black guys completely different. Then it happens to me in real life and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, am I living in a simulation? That outfit ate, girl. Please be for real. We're exiling that. That's what we're exiling. That's what we're exiling. Don't talk to me like that. Weirdo. Okay, let's get into the episode. Now that I'm pissed, let's get into the episode. Just kidding. All right, let's get into the episode. Okay, so we're talking marriage. We're talking being married at 23. I'm 25 now. I'm turning 26 next month, which is also like, I can't even believe that because, well, no, I can't believe it. But it feels like I just turned 25. And guys, when I turned 25, it felt like there was like a weight on my shoulder that just kind of fell off. Like, as soon as I turned 25, I felt like freedom. I felt freedom from the cages that I was putting myself in. I felt freedom from like caring so much about what people thought. Like, as soon as I turned 25, something clicked in my brain that I was like, you've been caring way too much about what people think. And it all just fell and washed away. Like, that whole day, I just felt the breaking off of like shame and guilt and just overthinking everything that I do, and more grace for myself too, more grace for myself. So before we get into making a case for the child bride, and I say child bride in a way that I mean like 20s, you know how everyone like thinks that if you get married in your 20s, you're a child bride. I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about actual child brides. That's horrific. So let's talk about green flags. Let's talk about things that I was looking for in a partner and what made the decision to get married at 23, although it was a scary decision and I was so young. What are the things that kind of reassured me and made me feel like I was in good hands? What kind of characteristics that I saw in my husband that I was like, okay, like I'm good, you know? And you guys know I have a lot of trauma. I have a lot of trauma, not only from my ex-stepdad, but also my real dad. And honestly, on Father's Day, we had like almost an hour-long conversation, which honestly, we've come a long way. Our conversations used to be 2 minutes long. And so the fact that we were on the phone for that long was progress. And he talked a lot and he expressed a lot of like, you know, regret about the way that he did a lot of things. But you know, he did the African dad thing too, where he's like, okay, but like you guys didn't die, you know? And I was like, okay, so we're still missing the point a little bit. But you know, I'll take this. I'll take the expression of regret. So I have a lot of trauma from those two. And then I also have trauma from like a third dad that I had when I was growing up. Because I wasn't raised by my real dad. I was raised by a third dad, as you know, an interim dad who also up and left. And I wrote about this on my Substack. So it's just like a pattern of men just upping and leaving. And I mentioned last episode how I just couldn't trust that wouldn't be the same story for me. And so, and especially when you're 23, when like the world is telling you, you know, don't settle down too early and don't like put all your eggs in one basket and live life and explore. And I can make a case for that too. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that, so I'm not going to make a case for that. I'm going to make a case for what I did. And what I did was get married at 23. So I'm going to make a case for why I got married at 23. What was on my list at first was tall, dark, handsome. And by dark, I wasn't talking brunette. And then I wanted them to be swaggy, fashionable. Down on the list somewhere was God-fearing, whatever that meant. But you know, I really just meant like Bible verse in their bio at least. You know, the bar was low. I wasn't really checking for much. And I think there's kind of this Love Island discourse recently that made me even think about what to put on a list, like when you're looking for a guy, because they were expecting Anaya, one of the Love Island contestants to pick this guy. So she went with this tall Asian guy who's half white, half Asian. He plays volleyball. She plays volleyball. His whole family played volleyball. He's traveled to Japan and studied abroad there. She wants to travel to Japan. She wants to learn a new language. He speaks 3 languages. So we have all these characteristics, right? But then there's like another guy, a black guy, who was kind of like really muscular and like very like, he like grabbed her and like was making out with her very like ferociously. And a lot of birds, were online saying, oh, why didn't she pick that tall, dark King Kong man? Why would she pick this like Asian nerd? And why didn't she pick this like, you know, like that man picked her up and like was doing squats. Like, I want him. I'm like, you guys are looking at the wrong things. You guys are looking at the wrong things. Partnership is about compatibility. It's not about looks. Like, looks, yes, you have to be attracted to them. I will not downplay the importance of physical attraction in a relationship. I'm just not going to do that. It matters. It matters. You have to be attracted to them physically and emotionally and mentally and financially. Anyway, so here are the things that I had on my list. Some things that I think are good to look for. And because I'm a Jesus lover, hashtag Jesus freak, this was before I met my husband, right? So this was my list. They needed, number 1, to be actively following God. Like, actively following God, like actively their life is dedicated to God. They are doing what God wants them to do. They're obeying. They go to God before they make any decision. Their life is led by God. They go to church not because I say that it's good to go to church, but because that's part of their routine. They're reading their Bible daily because that's part of their routine, not because I said it. And they just want to do it to please me because I'm their girlfriend. No, this is an active thing that they do in their life. This is how they live their life. Because when you want to join your life with somebody else, the life that you lead has to look similar to the life that they lead. If it's a stark difference in lifestyles, it's not going to work. If your man loves to go out every night on the weekends and you're a homebody, I just don't see how that would work. You know, maybe prove me wrong, but I just don't understand. Also, like as a man that has somebody or a partner, why are you going out and your partner is at home? What are you looking for out there? And don't get me wrong, I went out on Ghana Independence Day with my friends because I don't go out. Like, that's not a part of my lifestyle. So I went out, and by outs, because I used to not know what out meant. I'm like, is going to get drinks with friends at 10 p.m. No, at like 7 p.m. because that's when I usually would meet up with a friend over drinks. 7 p.m. we probably leave at like 9:30, 10 the latest. Then I go back home. Guys, that's not going out. I used to think that was going out. That's not going out. Going out is getting ready at 11:30. The function starts at 12. So I went out like that on Ghana's Independence Day, and I just had to keep swerving all the men. And one of the guys were like, okay, then why are you here? And I was like, you know what? You make a great point. I'm going to stay my butt at home next time. You make a great point. Why am I here? But no, it was fun. It was fun to hang out with the girls. It was fun to dance. It was fun to be with my friends. But like, they were right. Why was I there? Yeah, if they're like leading a different lifestyle than you, then it's not gonna work. So this, like, active devotion to Christ was the number one thing. And that like significantly shrunk my dating pool, which was good. I wanted that. I wanted the pool to be very small because I need to be only searching in the Venn diagram that says Jesus follower. That's my Venn diagram. That's my circle that I need to be looking for. You know, in a big city like New York, actively cuts your dating pool by maybe 95%. And that's fine. It's okay. It's okay to have boundaries. And the world is going to convince you that it doesn't matter. Like if this is something that's important to you, the world is going to convince you that it doesn't matter. That like it's okay, or they're going to try and convince you, yeah, like no, I can go to church. Well, I used to go to church when I was younger, but not anymore. You're not going to be the girl that's going to be like, "Oh, okay, but like you can like let's date and like we can start going to church together." That's not your job. You know what you have to do when you meet a guy that you find attractive, but then they said that they used to be Christian, but they're no longer? You invite them to church. The attraction ceases. You invite them to church, and you get them involved in community, and then you say, "Lord Jesus, take control." And then you let that go. You release into the wild, release into the kingdom, because that's not your burden to carry. You're not out here. You're not Jesus. You're not in charge of anybody's salvation. Please don't let a man make you feel like you're in charge of their salvation. Like plant the seed, invite them to church, and let that go. You don't pursue that relationship anymore, okay? Second on my list was a man that had vision, a man that saw a lot for himself and for his future, and also was actively working towards it. I used to date a guy, and I think I've mentioned this before. I used to like see this guy in college, and I would like force him to do his homework. Like I was a mother. Like I would check his bag and he had like nothing. He had like a pen. No, he had like a pencil that was broken, no sharpener. And like maybe one piece of paper. And I was like, "What are you doing in your classes?" He was doing nothing. And I would like fill out his stuff for him. I would help him do his homework. Oh, baby boy. I actually meant to say, "Oh, baby girl," because I was talking about myself. I don't know why I said baby boy. But anyway, yeah, just like that's not for you. The guy who says, "No, babe, we're going to be rich. We're going to make it out the hood," but they sleep in bed later than you. Don't be the first one up. Don't don't be the one texting good morning to, unless they worked an overnight shift. That's the only exception. Unless they worked overnight, you know, unless they worked overnight, there's no reason why you should be waking up earlier than your man. You're the one with the hormones, you're the one with the womb, you're the one with the ovaries. You are allowed to sleep in a little bit longer. Why are you texting a man good morning at 8 a.m. and they're responding good morning at 11 a.m.? Why were they in bed till 11? That's a man with no vision. They have to go to work, get up and go to work. If they don't have a car and they're not actively saving up for one, they don't have a job, they're not actively looking for one, they're playing video games, they didn't go to school, they like, if they're doing nothing for themselves and you're constantly thinking like, "Dang, he's telling me about these like big goals and dreams, but like I don't see him like actively working towards it," dead it. Dead it. Dead it. That's not the man for you. They need to have vision, and you need to see them actively working towards it. They have a plan. They wake up every day. They wake up every day and they get to it. They get to the bag because they have to provide. When God placed the curse on man, he said, The woman will suffer in childbirth and labor, and the man will suffer getting food for his family. Nowadays, we live in a world where the women are suffering both. We're suffering in childcare, childbirth, and labor, and we're still having to go to work. So there's no reason why the man who only has one curse on him is not doing his job. Third on my list, kind. Kind. A lot of my fears around marriage were resolved or absolved when I saw Lucas's heart for me. And your partner's heart for you, you know how the Bible says, like, guard your heart because out of it flows everything? Their heart for you is gonna flow everything. Everything they do for you, everything they do around you, towards you, about you, is gonna flow from their heart for you. So how is their heart towards you? Are they kind towards you? Because guys, like, you be with a man for a long time and you realize, wow, they actually hated me this whole time. And you would be like, how did I miss it? How did I miss the fact that they didn't like me this whole time? So they just have to be kind. Are they kind to you? Are they lifting you up, giving you compliments, encouraging you? Or are they negging you? Do they think that you're big and bad and you need to be humbled? Do they think that they need to knock you down a peg? Do they think that you feel yourself too much? Oh, you're feeling yourself too much. Oh, this girl, she just feels herself too much. You take so many selfies. You just want to look good all the time. You just want to be complimented all the time. Yeah, you look good. I don't need to tell you. Oof, run, girls, run, run. That's scary. Run, run for your life, run for your life. Like, life is so hard. You don't want a partner that's negging you, knocking you down a peg. They see that you've accomplished something and they want to, like, diminish it a little bit. You've achieved something and they don't talk about it. They don't applaud. They don't share the good news. You tell them and they don't seem excited. They're just kind of like, whatever. They're jealous. Yeah, run. And not only even kind to you, but kind to other people. Because the scariest thing is thinking, oh, he's nice to me. I mean, he's rude to the service workers and he's rude to the people around, but he's nice to me. And so I've won because he's nice to me. No. He's nice to you because he's getting something out of you right now. It's going to turn. It's going to turn on you eventually. So be prepared. Be prepared. Like, in this bracket of kindness, I think I need to just put, like, exhibits fruits of the Spirit, which is kindness is part of it. Gentleness, self-control. Let me read the fruits of the Spirit. So the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. You don't even need any other list in a man than these: love, joy, peace. I married my man because his last name was Lovejoy. So I was like, okay, check. No, I'm just kidding. But love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Self-control is very, very, very important. Because yes, maybe he's going to church with you, but is he trying to get into your pants after church and you don't want that? And he has no self-control. Is he liking girls' naked pictures on Instagram and he has no self-control? Can he just not get off the sites? No self-control. Can he just not help but flirt? Oh, it's just how he is. No self-control. He can't help but talk to this one girl that you don't like. No self-control. Dead it. Dead it. Another one on my list, for me personally, I put creative, but that's because I'm a creative person. I want somebody that is gonna like get me. I don't want someone that like cannot think creatively. And I think I married the most creative man on the planet. Like genuinely. God just doused him in creativity. But I had creative on my list. I had creative on my list when I wrote this list in 2021. Yeah, I wrote this in 2021, like I think September. And then I met Lucas in October. So creative was on my list because I'm a creative person. So whatever like matters to you, make sure it's in there. But another thing that I had on my list, this was like very juvenile, but like I had, acts interested or pursuing me. So I'm not like sitting around waiting for a text back and it's been 2 or 3 days. You don't like me. If you liked me, you wouldn't be able to go 3 days without texting me. And any man that says that they like you and they go 3 days without texting you, they don't like you. Free yourself. Be free. Freedom to freedom. Free yourself. So pursuing, like you're actively making plans. You want to see me. You want to talk to me. You want to get to know me. You're interested in me. You're curious about me. You're not like, when we talk, you're not just talking about like sexual things. That's not who I am anyway. But like some men would really just like straight off the gate. They're like, what you trying to say? You down to slide? You down to slide? Where's the playground? No, I'm not down to slide. Get out of here. No, like genuinely curious about me. They're interested. What do you do when you're interested in somebody? I think it's hard when we're growing up because like we've kind of been taught that like when boys tease you and when they're a little bit mean, they like you. Coupled up with a couple father figures that just up and left. Oh, oh, if you ghost me, you must love me then, right? 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 That's not love, ghosting. Oh, I thought that was love. So I was out here chasing men that were ghosting me. And like the ghosting made it even a little bit more desirable because that's what the men that loved me did. They just left. And I had to like fight for their attention, And let you not grow up with the phone goes both ways kind of father. Then you're doing all the texting, right? And you're waiting for the text back from these guys and you're just like, the absence makes the heart grow fonder. No. If a man liked you, there would be no confusion. You would know immediately. So don't let anyone trick you out your spot. You would know immediately. There was no mistaking that Lucas liked me. There was no mistaking. He made it clear. He said it. Like, these boys are not even saying that they like you. They're just like, hard eyes here and there. And I was just overly going for it. Because I'm delusional. I'm very passionate about this subject. Okay. Another thing on my list is the ability to resolve conflict, right? And apologizing easily. I know conflict can be like a touchy subject because conflict, the way that we act in conflict is like a direct mirror of how like conflict was resolved with us. So for me, I never really grew up with any conflict resolution skills. It was always like if there was conflict, you don't talk about it and it's just gonna disappear one day. That's how it was modeled to me in my house. Like there was no apologies in my house ever. There was no, hey, I'm sorry that I did that, or I'm sorry that I spoke to you this way and I shouldn't have, I see that you're upset about this thing that I said. How can I say it better? What can I do? Like, no, there was none of that. Imagine you're telling my African parents to say that. That's not how this works. So within my marriage, I definitely I used to retreat a lot and just it would take me forever to get over things because I would just get silent and I didn't even have the words, you know, to even conflict resolve. But that's why I had to marry a man who never lets me go to bed angry. And you don't want a partner that you're mad and they're gonna add fuel to the fire, or they're gonna turn it around on you and say, okay, but you did this. They're gonna deny, or they're gonna gaslight, and then they're gonna turn it around on you. But you did this. No. Red flag, run. You don't want someone that sees that you're annoyed and then they'll do something even a little bit more to just kind of keep pushing your button, keep pushing your button. That's not good. That's not good. So definitely look for someone with conflict resolution skills, because the conflict will come. The conflicts will come. And even if they don't have the best conflict resolution skills, there's at least a willingness to resolve the conflict. Sometimes you meet people and they don't really actually want to resolve the conflict. They want to keep it going and make it worse and make you angrier and make you look like the bad guy. Let's resolve the conflict, okay? Let there be a willingness. Why am I not I'm not loving this word. I feel like I'm not saying it right. Willingness. Okay, willingness to resolve the conflict. And someone that apologizes easily. You don't want to be with someone that's withholding apologies, right? You don't want to be with someone that's withholding apologies. So, yes. And then generosity is really important. I know in the era of sprinkle, where it's really conditioning women to kind of view relationships very monetarily and in social media. I'm here to let you know it's not realistic. The big bouquet of flowers, that's 500 stems from Venus et Fleur, it's $2,500. If you can't easily buy that, why do you think your mate can? But there needs to be generosity. Are they willing to give what they do have? Are they willing to buy you $50 bouquet, even if it's just $50? Are they generous with their time, with their effort, and honestly, money too? I want to go on dates. I want to get a little sweet treat here and there. Just let me know that you thought of me. You went to the store, you saw a Kit Kat, you saw a Sour Patch Kids, you thought of me. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be a Cartier bracelet or Tiffany earrings. But just let me know that you care about me in the ways that I want to be shown. So if I'm oh, babe, I would love flowers, or if you're I would love some flowers, and they never get you flowers, and then the minute you're you never get me flowers, they'll get you a bouquet, and then never do it again, and then you have to keep reminding, that's exhausting. It's exhausting. So just somebody who's generous with what they do have. I'm not saying spend what you don't have, but can you spend what you do have though? Within reason, just treat me, thank you. Like, yeah, I think generosity is really important because it just shows, you don't want someone that's stingy. Like, no. Because what happens when kids get involved? Are they going to be stingy with the kids too? Stinginess is like, it's a symptom of the state of the heart. So if you are their partner, like in a full relationship, and they're not generous, that's a red flag. But this is a list of things to look for. So maybe you will not see like they're not going to be spending right out of the gate. I'm not saying look for that. I am saying like look for someone that's like willing to give their time, willing to give their services. Oh, your car broke down. Like, let me help you. Let me pick you up from the airport. Open the door for you. It's your birthday, make you feel special. All these things is part of being generous. And I think that's a very good quality in a partner. You also want somebody that like is willing to change their mind on things. You don't want someone that's like so headstrong that like you provide them with like information and they just like debate, and they like cannot change their perspective and everything you say is wrong and like they're always right. No, I don't want that. I don't want that for you. You need to be willing to change your mind. They need to be willing to change their mind as well. Not like willing to change their mind, but like able. Let me say it this way. Airplane. They have the ability to change their mind and they have the ability to apologize easily. And they're not quick to get angry and they're slow to speak. They hear you out. They're not rushing to get their word in. They're going to hear you out. A lot of these things, like maybe a few I can see like being able to work on. But marriage isn't like, it's not a competition for how much you can suffer. Like as women, a healthy relationship is not like a game of how much can I suffer for this man? How much can I put up with? And I think we've seen our parents put up with so much that sometimes, and I think society a little bit plays a part into it, but it's like how much you're willing to endure for your partner, especially even in like in Christian settings too. Like, oh, they have a porn addiction. Okay, like, I can help them through this. Like, I can be there. They cheated on me before we got married. I can forgive. No. Relationships should never be about how much you endure. Life is already hard. The trials and tribulations will come. Don't let it come from your partner. You guys are together as one. Life is going to happen to you. You need to have someone that you can go through life with. Don't let them be the life that's happening to you. Don't let your partner be the source of your problems. You're stressed all the time, you're angry all the time, you're sad all the time, and it's because of the partner that you have. God does not want that for you, baby girl. Don't let them be life. Don't let them be the life that's happening to you, because things are gonna happen. Sickness, job loss, like loss of family, maybe the health of family, like so many different things might happen in a relationship. You don't want your partner to be what's wrong with you. I'll just say that. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm missing one or two, but definitely like these are the things that I saw in my husband. These are the qualities that I saw in my husband that I felt like, okay, I can get married, because I saw all these things and it assured me that I was in good hands. And so I have made a case. I have made my case for being a child bride. I've made my case for getting married at 23, because sometimes you meet the right person and it just all makes sense. And so these are some kind of green flags. Like if your partner has all these green flags, it makes sense that you would marry them at whatever age, right? Yes, I was going to get into marriage. I'm going to touch on like a few things about marriage itself as a 20-something-year-old. Just quickly, I might do another episode on this. And if you have any questions, maybe I'll do it. I think I'll do a Q&A on marriage. But one, I think as a 23-year-old, and he was 25 when we got married, like in our 20s, premarital counseling was a must. And like cover all the topics in premarital counseling. Don't let any stone go unturned, because it's gonna get scarier if you're turning those stones over while you're married. The stones are gonna get uglier. You better uncover them before you get married. Go to therapy. Your husband or wife must be willing to go to therapy. You must be willing to go to therapy. Go to therapy. Have community. Have friends around you. And I'm not saying married friends. I barely have any married friends. Have friends. Have people outside of your husband or wife that you can do life with, because you can't have your partner be your end all be all. You can't just have one person that you go and do everything with. It'll get exhausting. Like Lucas and I, we work from home 24/7. We can't get enough of each other. We love being home together. We've been working from home ever since we got married. So it's just him and I in this house, in our apartment. And our first apartment was like half the size of this one. So we were really just like on top of each other. Figuratively and literally. Wink, wink. Sorry. No. Anyway. We were just, on top of each other every day. If we didn't have any other friends, that would be sad, because we're already with each other 24/7. You need friends outside to also be in community with, like enjoy, get experiences, make memories with people that are different than your partner, because that's really important. Community is going to ground you. Friendships, they're going to bring something else. Like my friends bring something else to me that Lucas doesn't. Like, because he can't, because he's not. Like, my friends are like West African women. Lucas is not a West African woman. These women bring a lot to me that my partner can't. So it's fruitful to have friends outside of your marriage. So please invest in them. You need to have hobbies. Find something to do. Find something to do. That's not your partner. Understand your intrinsic value as a woman or as a man, if you're listening. Understand who you are, your self-worth, so that you're not finding yourself like in compromising situations. You're not like ridding yourself of what makes you you for your partner. You're not easily like manipulated by whoever you are with, or you get lost in whatever their identity is because you don't have one of your own. Have your intrinsic value. Know your worth outside of your partner and outside of what you can do for them. Know your worth. Just know how valuable and cherished you are, how valid your feelings and emotions are, how valid your perspective is, how valid the knowledge that you possess is, the skills you possess, the qualities, your attributes, how valuable all of that is, so that when someone's asking you what you bring to the table, you say, me. I'm bringing me to the table. And it's a lot, and it's everything. So just know who you are. Knowing who you are will help you in a lot of situations, because you're not going to get like easily walked all over. You're not going to do away with your boundaries and the things that you look for and the things that you're working hard towards, and maybe the vision that you have for yourself, to be easily swayed into somebody else's life, and like all your defenses come down and you're just like at their mercy. That's not going to happen if you understand your value and your worth, and you know how valuable you are. Understand your finances. Already have an income, a stream of income, or two or three for yourself before you get into a marriage. Because you don't want to leave that up to your partner to like figure it all out, and then you're just clueless. It's never good. It's never good to just be clueless. Oh, I turn my brain off when I'm with my husband. Yeah, that's fun, but like, we're just saying that for fun. Like, don't actually turn your brain off, guys. Like, really know where the money is going, know what it's being invested in, what are the logins to the investment accounts, what stocks are we buying, where are we investing, where's the high yield savings, what percentage of the high yield savings is it at now? It's at 3.10. Should we move it to a different bank that has 4%? No bank has 4% these days. But like, yeah, take a finance course. Watch a couple financial videos on YouTube. Like, save money, spend money wisely, budget money wisely, so that no man can come in and tell you like, this is what you need to be doing with your money. Although that's like hypocritical of me, because I didn't know what I was doing with my money, and then my husband taught me everything. But like, thankfully, I married a good man. This is why you should marry someone who's generous and kind and actually like loves you, because then they're not gonna take advantage of you. But like, you also need to understand, like, I definitely wish I didn't go into marriage so blind to like money and how to use it well and save it well. And I was spending, like, there was so much contention in my marriage around finances, because I was spending like there was no tomorrow. Like, I was spending my every last dime, and I didn't understand the concept of saving. And like, I would use my credit card and I would just pay the minimum, like, and it would like add up. And Afterpay and Klarna were my BFFs, and I just thought it was like fun and like funny and silly and like laughable. And it wasn't. It was laughable though. It was laughable. In the wise words of Mia, I mean, yeah, it's embarrassing. You don't want to do that. You want to understand money, make money, understand money. Don't leave it all up to your future husband, which you could. It works that way too. But I think for your sake, it's wiser, so that you also have a say, in things. And then definitely be on the same page with kids. The thing about kids is, it's so funny. Like, you never know what kids are gonna bring. Like, you think you go into like a relationship and you both are like, yeah, we both want kids. You don't know if they're going to be easy to have. You don't know if you're going to change your mind on how many, or if you want them at all. You don't know how your birthing experience is going to go, and you don't know nothing. So definitely have someone that's like open mind. You don't want to marry someone that's like 4 kids by force, and they need to be all men and have my name, Carl Jr., the third. Run away from men like that. You need to be with people, or you need to be with someone that's open-minded, and it's like, yes, it's your body, however many you want, whenever you want them. Yeah. I think it's like the bare minimum you can ask is like for compassion around your womb. It's really the bare minimum. We've reached the end of the episode. That was a little bit about like things that you need to know or should know about marriage in your 20s a little bit before you get married, and then previously touched on what makes a man worth it. What characteristics or qualities should you look for in a partner to make getting married in your 20s worth it? And that's the end of the episode. So that was my case. That was a case for the child bride. That was a case for the child bride. I hope you understand me now. I hope you understand why I made the choice I made. And if you are looking to get married, or you're young and you're just like dating and you're looking in the scene and you're just like kind of figuring it out, these are some really good qualities to look for. And then also just know that there is no timeline. There is no timeline. The marriage will come if you want it, truly. The men are a dime and a dozen. It'll come. Get to know yourself. Learn. Expand. Like I talk about learning a lot because it's really like important to me. Like even if you're not going back to school, like read a lot. If you're interested in African literature, you're interested in art history, music history, sound, plants, whatever, learn, read, travel, get therapy, journal, pray, understand yourself. You have all, build community, invest in friendships, invest in your career, have something going for yourself before you start looking for a man, because the man will come. But you know what won't if you don't seek it? Knowledge, your career, your finances, your, expanded taste, a cultural perspective, a diverse worldview, great friendships. You know what? Even seeking out all of these things is where you might meet your potential partner. And I'm not saying do things for men, but like think about the highest like version of yourself. You want someone that's also there at your level, right? So just go after that. Go after the best version of yourself, and you will meet someone who's also right there along with you. Because you're going to tolerate any old thing if you don't have anything going for yourself. That's all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. That's my advice. I have a lot to say now. I have a lot to say. My mouth is open, so it's going to yap. It's going to run. Yeah, I hope you liked it. If I missed any green flags or things that you look out for, definitely let me know in the comments. And if you got married in your 20s too, I'd love to know how it is. How are you feeling? It's fun. I love the Young Wives Club. I do. It's fun. I love you. I do. Thank you for listening. And I will catch you in another episode next week. Bye-bye.